Recording in progress.
So, as a reminder, we have we're gonna have two different kind of angles. Okay, we're gonna have horizontal angles that are those that are gonna be touching the horizontal axis. Okay, in a coordinate plane or in a Cartesian plane, what is the horizontal axis? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay. The volume was quite high. Uh, so, take a look. A horizontal axis can look like this or like that. And it's touching the horizontal axis because if I project this side of the vector, it's gonna be a horizontal side. And if I project this side of the vector, again, it's gonna be the horizontal side. So these two are examples of horizontal angles because they are touching the horizontal axis. Angles can also be vertical. Vertical angles are those that are touching the vertical axis. Now, take a look to this angle over here and this other from here. So, a way to recognize a vertical angle is from the a way to recognize a vertical angle is just to imagine or to project uh, the other parts of the vector. Okay, imagine I give you the angle like this. So what you have to do is you're going to start projecting this component of the vector. And when you do that, you will notice that that is a vertical component. And a vertical component touches a vertical axis, therefore these angles are examples of vertical angles. So anytime I see you, anytime I give you a vector, try to analyze what type of angle is that. Now, we're going to be working with some practice exercises. And the first exercise says 100 is a vector that is 120 Newton, that is 40 degrees from the horizontal axis. Okay, so it's not giving me much information. So the first thing I do is I draw it. Okay, and I know that this is 120 Newton. And I know that it has an angle, it says from the horizontal axis. So what I can do is I could say that this is the horizontal axis or that this is the horizontal axis. What axis do you prefer, 1 or 2? It doesn't matter, I promise.
2.
Okay, so the 2 will be. So you can see that this vector, it has its, what I do in the first place is I complete the right triangle, okay, and I'm going to include my angle. It says from the horizontal axis, this is my horizontal axis from here. So I say that this angle is the one of 40, the one that the exercise is giving me. So this vector is going where? To the right or to the left, up or down?
Up, upright.
It's going up and it's going to the right. So, because this angle is touching the horizontal axis, what type of angle is this? Horizontal or vertical? So when it is horizontal axis, the x component is going to be with cosine, and the y component is going to be with sine. So to calculate the component is going to be the vector, the hypotenuse of the vector itself, cosine of the angle, and x then is going to be equal to 120 Newton cosine of 40 degrees. And for y it's going to be hypotenuse sine of the angle, or 120 Newton sine of 40 degrees. Remember that your calculator must be in degrees. How much is x?
91.92 Newton.
91.93 rounded Newton. Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
It is positive because it's going to the right. So all this, you need to show it in the quiz, okay? All your procedure need to be shown in the quiz. Then the vertical axis, the vertical component, sorry, is going to be y is going to be equal to
76.13 Newton. 77.13.
I got 77.13. Okay, is this going up or down?
Up.
It's going up, therefore it's positive. Let's work with the second example. It says 80 Newton, that is 60 degrees from the horizontal axis. So in this case, I'm going to draw a vector like this. Okay. And I'm giving you this angle. And this angle is 60 degrees and this vector is 80 Newton. So first thing I do is I complete my triangle. So where is this vector going, up or down?
Down.
Vector is going down, is going right or left?
Right.
It's going right, okay? So what type of angle is this? Vertical or horizontal?
Vertical.
Yes, it says from the vertical axis, and the vertical axis is this one, okay? And in this case, what we need to do is we're gonna get the components. And to get these components, what we need are, well, the definition of the vertical angle that I gave you the other day. That is, to calculate x, we're gonna be using sine. And to calculate y, we're gonna be using cosine. These are the formulas that we use when we have vertical angles, okay? So my x is going to be hypotenuse sine of the angle, and my y is going to be hypotenuse cosine of the angle. Because, as I already told you, sine is not always for y. So we continue, we say x is equal to the hypotenuse, in this case is 80 Newton, sine of the angle, that is 60 degrees. How much is x?
69.20.
Uh-huh. Okay, 69.28 for x. These are Newton. Remember that when we have a vertical angle, is because this angle is touching the vertical axis. The vertical axis is this one, okay? Or this one. Remember, vertical, horizontal. So this is my x, and my x was going to the right. Therefore, x is going to be a positive one. And y, we have hypotenuse cosine of the angle. And this is 40 Newton. I wrote x, but it's y. Okay, y is equal to 40 Newton. Now, because we said that in y is coming down, then the sign here is going to be negative. Because it's coming down, it's going to be negative. And with this, you have your components of your vector with vertical angle. From this exercise, do you have a doubt? Okay, now I'm gonna show you some vectors with angles, and you're gonna help me identify if they are horizontal or vertical. Take a look to these vectors over here, and let's analyze the vector A. In the vector A, I have this angle is located here. Okay, so what do I do in the first place? I complete my triangle. What axis is the angle touching, X or Y?
X. X.
This is a horizontal, okay? Therefore, it's touching your X axis. Therefore, the angle here is horizontal angle. In the second vector, I'll do the same. I will complete the triangle. Okay, in the B, my angle is touching the axis in this side. What side or what axis is that? Vertical or horizontal?
Vertical.
Vertical. Or your y-axis. So here we say that this angle is vertical. I will complete the triangle in the C also, okay? Okay, this angle is touching the component over here. That component is horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal.
Mhm. Horizontal, x-axis, therefore this angle is horizontal angle. What about this one? My angle is touching this axis from here. Is this axis horizontal or vertical? Vertical,
Vertical.
y-axis. Therefore, this is vertical angle. So remember, when you have a vertical angle, you have to use the cosine and sine in a different way. Okay, for x will be sine, for y gonna be cosine. And when you have the vertical and the horizontal, sorry, for x gonna be cosine and for y is gonna be sine. Now let's work with this example. It says 90 miles 35 degrees from the vertical axis. Okay. Okay. So I have this. That's my vector. Okay. Complete that triangle. What is the axis that it is touching?
The
Vertical or horizontal?
y-axis.
The y-axis, okay? It's touching the y-axis, therefore this is a vertical angle. So your x component is going to be equal to whatever sine of the angle, and your y component is going to be equal to the vector cosine of the angle. And the size of the vector, remember, is denoted by the hypotenuse. What we do after, we replace by the given hypotenuse, that is 90 miles, sine of the angle, that is 35, how much is this?
51.62.
51.62. We don't forget to write the unit. These are miles. And then we say, where is the component, the x component, going? Right or left?
Left.
Right.
It's going right. See? This vector is coming in this direction. So it's going down, 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 but also it's going to the right. Okay? So horizontally it's moving right. Therefore, it's going to be a positive answer. To calculate y, we replace by the given hypotenuse, that is 90 miles, cosine of 35 degrees, how much is this?
72.75.
73.72 miles. Okay, vertically is going up or is it going down?
Down.
It's coming down. Therefore, this answer is negative. Okay, there are some other angles that they're not gonna, other vectors, sorry, that they're not gonna give you like the angle. It's just going to say downward, eastward, westward, southwest, okay? In this case, what you have to do is 60 meters per second downward. So you know that your vector is just coming in this direction, no other direction, okay? And this measures 60 meters per second. When this occurs, when the angle is just moving in one direction is it moving? In X or in Y? In what direction is this vector going? X or Y?
Y.
Okay, so this vector is just coming down. It's not moving right, it's not moving left. So when this happens, okay, we say that the horizontal component is 0 because meters per second, because it's just moving vertically. And because it's coming down, the vertical component is going to be the same number, 60 meters per second, but because it's coming down, it's going to be negative. So when you have vectors that are moving in just one direction, the component in which it's not moving is going to be always 0, like this case. Now take a look at this one. It says 90 kilometers per hour rightward. Rightward, it means that it's going right. Okay? So, is this vector moving vertically?
No.
No. Therefore, the y is going to be 0 kilometers per hour because it's not moving vertically. But in x, it's going to the right. And because it's going to the right, it's going to be positive. Positive and the entire value of the vector, 90 kilometers per hour. As simple as that. Then let's see this one. It says 80 kilometers per hour leftward. Leftward indicates that it's coming to the left, okay? And that this vector measures 80 kilometers per hour. So, in x, it's moving left, so it's going to be a negative answer. And is it moving in y? Yes or no? No. Therefore, because it's not moving in y, it's going to be 0 kilometers per hour. But in x, it's going to be the entire vector, minus 80 kilometers per hour. It is minus 80 because it's going left. Now this one says 50 Newton upward. In this case, my vector is just coming in this direction and it measures 50 Newton. Is it moving in x? Is it moving in y?
In Y.
It's just moving in y. In x is not moving, okay? So in x it will be 0 Newton and in y is gonna be the entire vector 50 Newton. It's going up or down?
Up.
Because it's coming upward, the
Positive.
answer is gonna be positive. So guys, this is what I'm gonna be evaluating in the quiz. So I need that you be prepared with this topic. I'm going to send you the whiteboard so you can practice. Okay? So you can see this example and you can study from it. Just remember the most important part is that you analyze the type of angle that you have. So have a great weekend. Study for the quizzes. Bye guys.